exactly what he was doing. Okay. All right, hang in there, guys. Hang in there. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. I've got so much to cover. Okay. Stand by. We'll be back shortly. If you're on hold, stand by. We will be back shortly, and we've got a lot to cover. All right, now I can't believe September is almost here. Medicare open enrollment's right around the corner. If you're a Medicare recipient, call Chapter. They can help you no matter where you are in the United States. Okay, they cover all 50 states. Give them a call. The number's on your screen. It's also in the description of the video, and I'll give it to you in just a moment. When you call Chapter, you'll speak to a licensed Medicare advisor. They're going to review your policy at no charge, and you want to give them a call, and get everything set up before the open enrollment period begins. Things get real busy during open enrollment. Call in right now and get it taken care of. My mother-in-law called Chapter. She called this number right here on the screen just the other day. She's got everything lined up for open enrollment now, okay? And because they're a national company, they have access to all of the over 25,000 Medicare policies out there. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. That's 805-754-3033 for Chapter. All right, we got just over a minute, and we'll be back. We have a new break schedule, so I got to kind of get used to it. They changed the break schedule on me, so I got to get used to the new break schedule, which I'm a little, because I'm on a body clock because I'm so used to the schedule we've had for years and years and years, and it just changed like yesterday, almost without notice. So it throws me off a little bit. When we get back, I will take some calls. I'm going to get into the latest update with Iran, and there's a lot more to cover as well. Oh, let me see here. Okay, we'll be back in about 1 minute. 1 minute. Oh, boy. Oh, I tell you. And they keep asking this ridiculous question, where's Melania? Where do you think she is? They got all these plots against her and her family. Would you be out there all the time? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, about 30 seconds and we'll be back. Yep, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, stand by. Hang in there. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And even when liberals hear these stories, they still, where's Melania? Where's Melania? Would you be out in public if this kind of thing were happening to you? I don't think so. Welcome back, everyone. This really scary plot against Melania Trump, and you have all of these idiotic Democrats. They keep asking this stupid question, where's Melania? And then when they say it, they pause because they think they've said something brilliant, so you're supposed to ponder the brilliance of their words. Well, we know where Melania is. She's not going out in public. Would you, if you had this kind of thing going on? No. And the president probably doesn't want her out too much either. All right, I got a lot to cover. I'll take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Dave from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They're probably facing this the rest of their lives with these idiots that's trying to assassinate them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so hypocritical of the Democrats. They let people like that off the hook or make excuses for them, but yet remember when Biden and his administration wanted to throw the books at the January 6th people.
Yeah.
And even at Donald Trump, before he was running for president for the second time, they wanted to throw the book. No problem
and
at all.
there's so we've got, I mean, think about it. Just this week, these are the stories that have happened just this. I'm not including Scott Bessett's assassin being sentenced to 73 months in prison last week. That's just this week. The Barron Trump Iran bounty, right? We've got this story that I just shared with Melania, where this guy was obviously not only planning something big and with the body armor, a gunfight, he was planning living off the grid after, right? And then have you seen this story? A guy from California was going to the Capitol. He brought with him a guillotine. What the heck was that all about? The left, we have a problem with left-wing political violence in this country.
Oh, big time. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, they got to look over their shoulders the rest of their lives. It's very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. It is. All right. That's the way it is with Democrats, right? I mean, since John Wilkes Booth, John Wilkes Booth was a Democrat too. That's how Democrats are. Okay, now if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now, President Trump has declared mission accomplished in Iran. And he did this over Truth Social. He posted a pretty clever photograph, a meme on Truth Social. And it says, mission accomplished 2026. And he's got the Ayatollah next to this sign, and it's him, and it shows everything that's going on. And then to his right, he has George W. Bush, and it's images of Iraq, and it says, mission not accomplished 2001 to 2021. So the president has declared mission accomplished in Iran, which is true. But there's been something that's happened in Iran that has not been reported. And you're going to hear it for the first time from me. And this is what it is. Not only has President Trump accomplished his mission in Iran, right? Their ability to have a nuclear weapon, to develop a nuclear weapon is forever gone. Their Army, Air Force, and Navy is destroyed. But President Trump, without any boots on the ground, other than that rescue operation of the downed airmen a month or two ago, without any boots on the ground, with just an air campaign and a naval blockade. Think about this. President Trump, and this is very true, no one in the media is going to tell you this because they don't want to give President Trump credit for anything. President Trump has given us regime change in Iran. There has been regime change in Iran. That's right. Not only has there been regime change, it's a major regime change. The Ayatollah Khomeini is dead. His son is either dead or so injured that he's beyond recovery. It's been months. No one's seen him. No one's heard him. The country has no clear leader. There's a civil war going on between what's left of the civilian government and what's left of the IRGC. They were a theocracy run by the Ayatollah Khomeini, and that's the way it's been since 1979. But now those days are over because the Ayatollah is dead and his son is either dead or out of commission and beyond recovery. If that is not regime change, I don't know what is. So we've completely defeated Iran. Now, there'll still be a pain, and we're going to hear from them every once in a while, and they'll act out, and then we'll respond. And it'll be this way for many years to come. But we have regime change, and we've defeated them, and they are a shell of their former self. Now, if you... I would love to hear your thoughts on this. With the Ayatollah dead, his son dead or so injured, he's beyond being recovered to a point where he can lead because no one's seen him or heard his voice since any of this began. Okay, not even a photograph like that fake thing they did with Mitch McConnell weeks ago. This is 100% regime change. And President Trump has rewritten the way that wars are fought. He's rewritten the way America leads combat operations. And he shows without any boots on the ground, you can have regime change. And the regime change sure came at a very small price, didn't it, compared to Iraq? Look at Afghanistan, by the way. We didn't have regime change after 20 years in Afghanistan. The people running Afghanistan today are the same people that were running Afghanistan when the towers got knocked down. The Taliban, they're back in control. And President Trump, one of the things, the left, they never understand President Trump, and they never will, okay? And one of the things about President Trump that they just don't get, and they'll never get this, okay? This is something we just got to accept. They'll never get this. They'll never understand this. It'll never make sense to them. But he does not have this ego problem that they think he has. He's not an insecure person. And he does a lot of things that he doesn't run around and brag about. And one of them, and believe me, President Trump is very well aware that he has brought complete regime change to Iran. You know, when the Ayatollah Khomeini, the original Ayatollah Khomeini, returned to Tehran and took over in 1979 after they took our embassy, that was it. And these Ayatollahs have been running the country for 47 years. President Trump rid Iran of the Ayatollahs. Now, the media are never going to tell you what's really going on. They don't want you to know what's really going on, because what's going on is President Trump's accomplished something that no other president even dreamed of being possible. So regime change in Iran is a real thing. Now, we lost in this operation, and it's sad to lose one, but we lost 19. You know, you look at Iraq, you look at Afghanistan, and the loss of life and the wounded that came out of that. Oh, my goodness. It's truly sad. And with the loss of only 19, we defeated a major country that was pretty powerful, Iran, devastated their military and nuclear program beyond repair. We've brought about regime change with the loss of only 19 and without any boots on the ground. And now with this economic D-Day that's going on, they're going to go bankrupt. Now, yesterday, oh man, yesterday afternoon, it rained like nobody's business. Not only was it raining yesterday, it was raining hard, and the winds, they were a-blowing. We had a rainstorm, and even the power went off at my house. Did that happen to you guys? If you have a wet spot on your ceiling after those rains yesterday, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, I was looking at that golf resort out in California where that guy made that plot, and I said, it looks like the same roof they have at Mar-a-Lago. You know, Mar-a-Lago has a very unique roof. You know, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, he has the same tiles that are on the roof at Mar-a-Lago. So if you want to have the same roof that the president has, you want that Mar-a-Lago roof, let Tom Laporta know when you call that you're interested in having that Trump Mar-a-Lago roof. It's beautiful. But if you have a wet spot on your ceiling today, you want to call Tom Laporta. You've got a leak in your roof, okay? And you want to take care of that leak before it becomes a big, big problem for you. You may just need a simple repair. And Tom Laporta will never sell you a roof you do not need. He works on every type of structure, residential, commercial, even municipal. He works with every type of roofing material there is. He can handle the job of any size, whether it's one single family home, one office building, or an HOA that has 450 units or even more. He can handle it. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida, from the Atlantic Ocean over to the Gulf of America coast and everywhere in between. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, I know what I got to do. All right, hang in there, guys. We are in break. All right, let me cue this up. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, okay, I see. Let me check it out now. Hold on. I've had some issues today. Okay, I've got to fix that after the show. Okay, got my audio sound bites queued up. Those of you on hold, don't go anywhere. Oh man, guys, I got to tell you, we are in some really, really scary times with these Democrats. This story on Melania is just frightening. Now, give me a yes or no in the chat. Do you agree that we now have regime change in Iran? The Ayatollah's dead. His son's out of commission. It seems pretty permanent with that. Isn't that regime change? We have a fight for control between the civilian and the IRGC governments. There's no clear leader, right? That sounds like regime change. We've undone the theocracy and replaced it with chaos. And really a civil war between the civilian government and the IRGC. Do you agree with that? That is regime change, yes or no? What do you guys think? I would say yes. Yeah, it's regime change. No question about it. We've got so much to cover here. Where am I going to begin? I've got so much to cover. Oh yes. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Now, I would say without question, regime change. Without question. Okay, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. The new break schedule has me off just a little bit, but I'll get it figured out. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. We're in radio station break right now, okay? If you're on hold, stand by. If you want to call in, the number's toll free and pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. 30. All right. Yes, yes, yes. And if you guys could like the video, I'd greatly appreciate that. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video. Now I'm going to play this. I'm going to take a call, but this clip here, I'm going to play coming up. I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Unfortunately, the audio is not the best, but this is Abdul talking about Obama.
Our state helped elect the guy saying Obama to the presidency. And it was the first time I ever saw myself in a politician.
Really? What did he said he saw himself for the first time in Barack Obama? Why would that be? What connection do they have?
Our state helped elect the guy saying Obama to the presidency. And it was the first time I ever saw myself in a politician.
Other than being Muslim, what could they possibly have in common? He says he saw himself. What would Abdul see in Obama that he sees in himself? Good question, huh? Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I can't think of anything. The only thing I see with they're not doctors, right? The only thing they have in common, that everything about him is being Muslim, Abdul. I can't imagine what else he's referencing. Can you? What else could he be referencing? No idea. All right, we've got about 20 seconds and we'll be back. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. 10 seconds. Oh, hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Richie.
Good morning. I hate to start out the morning by calling you the great spin master, but I'm going to do it.
What am I spinning?
You're spinning this regime change garbage,
Oh,
and
in
I'm going
Iran?
to explain what I mean by that.
All right, now for people that aren't, for people just tuning in, okay, President, let me do a quick recap on this because I don't see any other way.
Okay.
President Trump on Truth Social declared mission accomplished in Iran, okay? And I went a step further and said that President Trump has given us regime change in Iran. The Ayatollah Khomeini is dead. His son is probably dead. If he's not dead, he's injured beyond recovery. No one's seen or heard of him, not even a photograph since this began. We have a civil war going on between the civilian government and the IRGC. There's no clear leader. That sounds like regime change to me, Richie. It was a theocracy 6 months ago.
Okay, now I'm going to explain why I say you're a spin master.
No.
You're 100% right in everything you've said. Now I'm going to compare it with Venezuela. We went in there and we regime changed then. That's obvious. And you know why I can say that? Because we have total control and they're cooperating with us. The government of Venezuela, they've become our allies. But in Iraq, Iran, we have a difference because what you had was a government that was IRGC and the Ayatollahs.
Yeah.
It was like a split government.
It's no longer
like the presidency.
It's no longer a theocracy because the religious leader's gone and they have no replacement.
Right, I exactly right. But the problem is that the militant faction, the IRGC, have taken over for what it's worth. They're worse than the Ayatollahs. The Ayatollahs were basically the moderates, believe it or not, and you know that. And the fact of the matter is that the civilians still don't have the weapons.
6 months ago, and Iran is contained. 6 months ago, they had the Ayatollah Khomeini in charge. Okay, he was the supreme leader.
I agree with you.
Now, the religious leader not only is gone, there's no successor, and there's no clear leader of the country, and there's a fight between those two factions. That's regime change.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I said I agree with that.
And Venezuela, the president of Venezuela is Maduro's vice president, right?
Yeah, but they're cooperating with us. Now let me say this to you, and this is straight on. Who was the one that killed 40,000 people, the Ayatollahs or the IRGC?
Under the Ayatollah's orders.
Let's be honest.
Under the Ayatollah's command.
No, you're wrong. You're totally wrong. And it was a decision made by the IRGC. And the fact of the matter is, the security, high security.
All right, Richie. We're going to have to agree to disagree. I know it rubs you the wrong way because you want to, you want to think that we lost the war in Iran. I didn't say we lost the war. We defeated them and brought about regime change without any boots on the ground. Pretty good deal.
Regime change is when you have the civilian population take their country back, and that hasn't happened.
That's not true.
The faction
that's not regime change. That's not what happened.
Oh my God!
That's not what happened in Iraq.
You went from Tojo to Hitler, and you're calling it a good thing. You're crazy, man. I'm sorry. You're spinning this to death because you want to spin it.
It's still regime change.
Yeah, it's gone from Tojo to Hitler. That's regime change.
Well, that would be regime change.
And it should go to. Oh my my God, Brian, I love you, but boy, this is really ridiculous.
All right, Richie. I appreciate the
I'm gonna
call.
let you go.
Take care.
Have a good
Take care.
one.
No, I'm going to let you go. You're going to let me go? I'm going to let you go. It doesn't. You got things mixed up. Okay, now there's a new clip of Abdul. Abdul's the Muslim Democrat running for Senate in Michigan. Now, unfortunately, the audio is not that great on this clip. Okay, but what he says is so revealing that it's worth the poor audio. He's speaking to a group, and this is recent, and I'm wondering if the audio is messed up on purpose, because now if a clean copy of it comes out, I will share it, and if someone has a cleaner copy of this, please get it to me. Just post it on X and tag me, because I found this audio, and I did search for a better copy of it, but this is all that exists. Okay, I'm not going to set it up other than to tell you that Abdul says something that, well, it should be a top story in all newscasts today, with breaking news and breaking news music and breaking news sounders, but it won't, because listen to this.
Our state helped elect a guy, Hussein Obama, to the presidency. And it was the first time I ever saw myself in a politician.
Okay, well, I'll play the rest of it in a minute. The mic's cutting in and out there on it. But he said Michigan helped elect Barack Hussein Obama. I thought, hey, liberals, Democrats, I thought Democrats said it was racist to say his middle name. But he said it was the first time he ever related, the first time he ever connected to a politician. What about Obama and Abdul would make Abdul feel connected to him, and the first time ever to a politician? The only thing I could think of is everything about Abdul's being Muslim. So what else could there be other than the fact that he's Muslim? Listen, here it is. I'll play the whole thing now.
Our state helped elect Hussein Obama to the presidency. And it was the first time I ever saw myself in a politician. He had mixed parents. I was raised by my dad and my stepmom, who's a daughter of the American Revolution from the middle of the state. He's got a funny name. I got a funny name. He's tall and skinny. I'm short and thick.
Short and thick. What's he talking about there? That's a strange thing to say. What's he referencing there? Wow. And now all of a sudden, this rewriting of history, so his Muslim family are daughters of the American Revolution? How's that possible? Were there Muslims fighting in the American Revolution? I missed that. But other than him being, everything about this guy is Muslim. So what else could he be referencing with Obama that gave him a connection that he's never felt with another politician before? And when he says short and thick, what's he talking about? What a strange person he is. What a strange man Abdul is. Well, he and Angie Nixon here in Florida are the faces of the Democrat Party right now. They're the two most high-profile Democrats in America right now running for office, and both of them have different dysfunctions, but certainly have dysfunctions. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. Oh, man. If you owe back taxes, call Jamie Levac, even if you've already made arrangements with the IRS on payments. One of our listeners owed back taxes to the IRS. He went, and it was killing him. He went to the payments. He would make the payments. They're not making a dent in his debt. He goes to Jamie Levac. Jamie Levac went and looked at his past years and found out that he didn't owe the IRS money. In fact, the IRS owed him money, and he got him the money back. Isn't that something? It's absolutely amazing. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, call Jamie Levac. You hear a lot of companies advertising nationally. If you owe $10,000 or more, call us. Those companies charge a boatload of money. I mean, a lot of money. And if you're in debt to the IRS, you don't have the money to pay these companies. Jamie Levac does what they do better. And he does it for a tiny, tiny, tiny little fraction of what those big companies charge. If you own a business, call Jamie Levac. He can help you with your business taxes, your bookkeeping, even your payroll. No matter how large or small your business is, whether you're a large brick and mortar business with hundreds of employees, or you're an Uber driver, or work in the gig economy, or have a home-based business, call Jamie Levac. He can help you with your business taxes and bookkeeping and your payroll taxes and all of that, no matter what size of business you have. And Jamie Levac can also help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States, okay? Now, if you're here in South Florida, you're more than welcome to meet with Jamie Levac at Swift Tax in person. He'd love to do that. But if you can't meet him in person, or you're out of town or even out of state, call Jamie Levac. He'll help you no matter where you are over the phone. Call or text Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587 for Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. We'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back. All right, I'm having some tech problems too, but that's okay. I'll get it taken care of. All right, where am I? Hang in there. If you're on hold, stand by. Gotta decide where to go next. I've got so many things to cover. Oh, yes. This is a big story. Okay, that's a very big story. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Hold on. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phone shortly. 38. All right. Okay. All right. I'll take some more calls when we get back. Stand by. We got about 1 minute. We'll be back. We're in radio break right now, so stand by, guys. If you're new, welcome. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. And everyone, if you could please take a moment to like the video. That helps spread the word about the channel. When you like the video, you get it recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. We have less than a minute, and we'll be back, okay? Oh, boy, oh, boy. I've lost track of how many attempts there's been on Trump and the family. At some point, I'm going to have to put together a detailed list. There's been so many. It's very unusual, so you don't usually have to make a list. You can just remember, but less than 30 seconds, and we'll be back, guys. Yep, the number is toll-free. It's pinned in the live chat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Matt. I'm calling from Colorado.
All right, Matt in Colorado. What's on your mind?
Well, not too much. I enjoyed discussing politics and geopolitics and having a civil discourse about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds like you're
So,
looking for a date, but go ahead. It sounds like a dating profile. What's
yeah,
on
right.
your mind? I brought up a lot of things today. Is there some, am I wrong to
Well,
assume that you're not on the Trump train being in Colorado? Or is that an
I
accurate assumption? And by your tone?
yeah, I am not on the Trump train, but yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
think most importantly, what's going on in the world is certainly the expanding conflict in Iran, and I think it has
Hold on a second here. I missed something. Maybe, hey, listen, I've been on the air for about an hour, so maybe some news is broken I've missed. But you said the expanding conflict with Iran. Iran is contained. They're defeated. Their nuclear program's devastated. Their military's devastated. There's been regime change, and they're contained. Where's this expansion that you're referencing? I missed the expansion.
Okay, so you don't understand that the 7 surrounding countries have been attacked, that Jordan's been attacked. You don't understand it's a regional conflict.
The conflict, Iran, 6 months ago. Let me put you on while I answer my very busy phones that are coming in. Okay, are you back with me?
Yeah, I'm back with you.
Okay. About 6 months ago, when this air campaign began, okay, before that happened, Iran was a major military power in the Middle East, right? They had a navy, they had 2 air forces, right? They had the regular Air Force and the IRGC Air Force, okay? They had a very well-equipped army. They had a drone fleet and a lot of rockets. And yes, they did get off some rockets here and there, but that's pretty much all over. And what's happened?
Okay.
Let me finish my sentence and then disagree with it, so it'll sound like meaningful intellectual disagreement and not knee-jerk Colorado liberalism. So what's happened here is President Trump's made a pretty smart move, as opposed to invading like we've done with great loss of life on both sides in Afghanistan and Iraq. He brought about regime change and defeat in a different way. And while Iran from time to time will become a nuisance to us and may put together some rocket and fire it off, fire it there, they went from what some called a superpower 6 months ago to pretty much like the Somali pirates. They're a little nuisance nation now, just a little flea. They were a wasp, and now they're a flea.
Okay. My turn yet, or
sure? No? Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Okay, so let's just correct the record. First of all, you talked about the Navy. They never had a significant Navy. They do have a good drone fleet. They have miniature submarines. Okay. Second of all, you said a false statement about.
First, that's not true. Slow down on the Navy.
I did not interrupt you.
Hold on. The Navy. One second. Hold on, Colorado. Colorado, slow down.
I did not interrupt you.
You are now.
You asked me.
I want to stop on that one point. I want to stop on your one point. Not only did they have a Navy, that we sunk, they were doing naval maneuvers with Venezuela for years. They had the Soleimani off the coast of India. So that's what you said's not true. But okay, your next point.
Yeah. So you asked me not to interrupt you, and I didn't. And so
well, I'm the host of the show, so I get to talk whenever I want. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, you can be a dick whenever you
want. Hey, whoa. First dump of the day, Mike. There we go. Oh my goodness. That's one, I don't think I've heard that one in years. If you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to re-engage. What is it with the left in their mouth? Right? I can't let him go through a whole list of lies and then 5 minutes later come back. Oh my goodness. I have not heard that word from a caller in years. Callers on hold, stand by while I wait for the delay to build back up. those of you that are new to the program, when somebody uses a word that's not allowed on the radio, obviously we're on a delay, you know, so we have to disconnect the caller and hit the dump button, which cuts out the profanity. So when I say the first dump of the day or the dump button or any reference that involves dump, a caller has just used some language that's not permitted over the radio, okay? And that's what that guy did. And don't you love how he was on this, he was on this moral superiority thing. I like the civil debate of two sides, and, you know, I'm about thought and intellect and philosophy and discussions between men, like he's Plato or something, you know. And then he drops language we have to dump. That's the intellectual elite of the left. Oh my goodness. All right, now while I'm waiting for the delay to re-engage, there is a story here I'll mention, because this is a good one. I was going to mention this after the top of the hour. The Democrats, we may have some Democrats doing some very naughty business here. This is in Breitbart, Democrats appear to be colluding with Canada's anti-Trump government. There's a trade war going on. There's trade hostilities, a trade war, not physical hostilities, but figuratively, that we're in a trade war. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney appointed a longtime Democrat political operative to a newly created senior position in his government in Canada. The latest action in a long history between prominent Democrats colluding with Canada's leader to oppose the Trump administration. The two countries are now embroiled in a tense back and forth years in the making that threatens American interest on trade and national security. Carney, this is the Prime Minister of Canada. Carney appointed Maya Johnson as Chief Operating Officer of the Prime Minister's office. The position is the equivalent of White House Chief of Staff. She concurrently serves as Senior Special Advisor for United States Stakeholder Strategy. What makes the arrangement unusual is she is an American citizen. As Carney's top deputy, it's unclear what access she receives to classified or secure materials. Her professional history, includes this. In 2016, she was listed as Director of Scheduling for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. In 2020, she worked for Michael Bloomberg's political consulting firm and provided strategic consulting services to the Biden campaign in 2020. So it looks like the Democrats are working with a foreign government. That's a felony. Hatch Act. Looks like the Democrats are working with a foreign government that we're involved in a trade war with right now. She comes back to the U.S., she should be arrested on the spot. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. What's this music that we listen to while we're on hold? It sounds like Muslim music.
No, it's not.
Like you,
it's not Muslim music.
Or North African music or something.
No, it's not North African music either.
What do you call it?
What I call it is on hold music. I don't know.
Okay. Aside from that, I'm like you. I don't like Muslims either.
I didn't say I don't like Muslims. I didn't say I don't like Muslims.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess I'm alone. I don't like Muslims. I thought you didn't.
No,
like
that would
Muslims.
make you that would make you a bigot.
Oh, there's not another word. All right.
No,
well, I don't like
no. If you just generally no, you got to paint me with your brush of bigotry. Good try, but it's not going to work.
I could have swore you didn't like Muslims. All right.
No, there's some people I don't like that happen to be Muslims, but there's some people I don't like that happen to be white, like Carney in Canada. Does that mean I hate white people because I don't like Carney in Canada? Or I don't like like Tucker Carlson. Does that mean I don't like white people? No, Tucker Carlson's a traitor.
Tucker.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh.
No.
So, anyways, aside from that,
I don't like Marjorie Trader Green. Because I don't like Marjorie Trader Green, does that mean I hate women?
She's a hottie. You used to like her, though.
Well, people change and betray you.
Yeah, it's a cruel world. Hey, you didn't even interrupt that last caller, so I don't know what his deal was. he was just talking,
Mm.
and you didn't interrupt him at all.
No, we were having a discussion, and he's as a typical. I may be the first conservative, the first MAGA person he's ever had a conversation with. So when he's sitting around at the Colorado pot cafe where they go and buy and smoke their legal weed in Colorado, when he's sitting around with his friends high, reading poetry and reading the HuffPost and talking about the latest hits on MS Now, he's probably the smartest guy in the room where all the stoners think he's brilliant. But when he's talking to a living, breathing MAGA guy, as opposed to talking about us, the intellect went out the window when he started with the profanity.
Yeah, it makes for some good
All right,
conversation.
it was good. I got to run.
Hey.
We're coming up on the top of the hour break. I'll give you the last
grab
word.
her by her pussy.
Okay, there we go. Boom. Second dump of the day. There we go. Second dump of the day, Mike. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, my goodness. See how he was trying to portray me as a bigot, and then what he did at the end? That's liberals. We'll be right back. The liberals are on fire today, aren't they? Oh, man. You got to be quick. Got to be quick with that dump button on this program. 2 liberals in a row, both have to be dumped. Why do you think the left are so triggered? You guys on YouTube can hear it. It's okay on YouTube. But it's not okay on the radio. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they use that kind of language? What do you think it is about these liberals? Any ideas? Oh my goodness. They're losing their minds, people. They're losing their minds. Let's see here. All right. Hang in there. Hang in there. Yeah, we're on a new break schedule, so I'm a little off here. So I'm paying more attention to Mike, the board op's texting me. Yeah, the liberals in the audience are out of control. Now, what do you think? This woman, she worked for Bloomberg. She worked on Hillary's campaign. She worked on the Biden campaign. Now she's the chief of staff to Prime Minister Carney in Canada. Is that treason? Is she committing treason? Should there be a federal warrant for her arrest? I'm glad I explained to the new listeners what the dump button is. They'd have no idea what we're talking about. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Thanks for tuning in. So 2 liberals in a row, and we had to use the dumb button for both. Now, if you're just tuning in, I'll just recap a couple of stories from the first hour, then I'm going to move on to some others. But there was an assassination plot against Melania Trump at the golf course, the Trump golf course in California. The guy was found with an AR-15, armor-piercing or hollow point ammo, handguns, body armor. He had Melania's schedule. He had personal information about Secret Service agents, which I'm curious how he obtained that. Did he obtain that on his own? Does he have somebody that was helping him? And this guy, he did get arrested and he was busted. He was trying to pass himself off as a security agent for Marco Rubio at the State Department. And the judge in California has given this guy really a slap on the wrist, almost letting him go free. He said this is not a criminal matter. He's crazy. He sent it over to the mental health court. So he basically got a slap on the wrist. That's crazy to me. And then, of course, I was talking about the regime change that's taken place in Iran. President Trump has brought us a regime change in Iran. And that's why I think the liberals... We've had two liberals in a row. Both had to be dumped. The reality that not only did we win the war in Iran, President Trump's mission in Iran has been accomplished, but that President Trump has also brought about regime change in Iran. That's obviously triggered the liberals in the audience. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, that lady that went to the enemy is subverting the will of the president and her country, and it's called treason.
Yeah, the other story I cover right at the end of the last hour for those of you just tuning in. Prime Minister Carney of Canada has appointed a woman who's an American citizen to be his chief of staff. She worked for Hillary Clinton's campaign, Joe Biden's presidential campaign, and Bloomberg in New York. That sounds like treason to me, Jeff. I think there should be a warrant out for her arrest. What do you think?
Immediately. And there's no way that anybody got the schedule of First Lady Melania without being in the inner circle, and that person ought to be arrested and tried, because that is as close to treason as you can be. But why are they doing it? Are they doing it to try to have her murdered or even threatened? That is a crime.
Yeah. Well, last week when Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, he's the first Treasury Secretary in history to have an assassination attempt on him. It's the first time there's been an assassination attempt on a member of the cabinet since the night that the Democrat John Wilkes Booth shot Kennedy, because the vice president, Secretary of State, and Secretary of War were targets that night too with the Democrat John Wilkes Booth conspiracy. That guy got 73 months, right, for trying to kill the Treasury Secretary. This guy had a major detailed plot, and he also planned his escape to live in the wilderness of California afterwards, and they sent him off to mental health court. That's basically setting him free.
These liberal callers that come in and they say they're polite and let you talk, but the minute they start spewing their lies, and they get called on it, they get flipped right out mad. They don't think they have any right to be questioned. Of course, Iran had a
did I misspeak and said Booth with Kennedy instead of Lincoln? Hey, I only say about 50 million words a day, so give me a break if I said Kennedy instead of Lincoln. You guys know what I meant. Oh my goodness, these people,
right.
See, they're always on you, Jeff. They're trying to catch anything. You misspeak, they're like,
But you know what? I'm glad the liberals come here. I block the ones that just talk foolish filth and lies, but the ones that will listen, we can hope that they're going to get red-pilled. So I understand why you allow them a platform. It exposes them just like Trump does. All Trump has to do is let the loony left talk. They're exposing themselves every day, and it's not changing. They hate America. They hate Trump. They hate MAGA. They hate we the people. They hate the Constitution. They want power. They're losing power, and they can't stand it. And I'm glad. I'm just sitting back watching and laughing.
Well, the two liberals, they both had different tactics. The first guy, the first liberal, I knew this guy. I love this guy. I knew he was going to lose it. The one that said he likes to have an intellectual political debate, and
that was a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I know, just a snob. He probably was wearing an ascot, he reads poetry. Give me a break. And I just asked him I challenged one of the minor points he made, and he just totally lost it.
the next election, the midterms, and every election here on out is so important. We need to get together, stay together, and get the message out. Hey, let's make America great again. Keep America first, and
That's right.
hold people accountable. We need justice reform, and it's so important.
Well, you know, this story about Melania, this California judge, this assassin of Melania, okay, just so you guys understand, he had ammo in his pocket. He had a pistol in his car with a round in the chamber. He had a badge and was passing himself off as a federal agent with the State Department. He had an illegally altered AR-15 with hollow points at his home. He had body armor. He had detailed plans of the golf club. He had been there multiple days scouting it out. He had the First Lady's schedule. He also had, while they didn't tell us exactly what it was, they said he had personal information about the president's Secret Service detail. And I don't know how and the First Ladies, I don't know how he got that. And the judge sends him off to mental health court. This Lindsay Chancey that killed her 3 kids, they're trying to get her sent to the mental hospital instead of prison. I don't get this. You know, everyone in prison for murder is crazy. Sane people don't kill other human beings or attempt it. Okay? This guy, this is a liberal judge in California that, you know, let this guy off the hook out there.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Can I say one thing about Canada?
Absolutely.
Because you were talking about Canada, is they would be nothing without us. We protected them for decades and you know, for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And the Canadian people love America. It's the government that hates us. And they're selling out to China. They're taking away the Canadians' rights.
Well,
and it's such
this
a
is
mess
what
up
I
there.
think is going
And
on. And I'm going to tell you, this is what's going on right now. We've gotten 2 indicators of this. We find out that Carney's Prime Minister Chief of Staff is this American Democrat who worked on Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, Joe Biden's presidential campaign, and Bloomberg's campaign, okay? Ford, the premier of, which one is he premier of? I forgot which prime. It doesn't matter. They're so insignificant. But he said that if he could, he'd come to America and campaign for Democrats. Now this trade war makes sense. The Democrat Party is colluding with Canada, creating a trade war crisis as a midterm election tactic. The Democrats have their top candidates are Abdul and Angie Nixon here in Florida, 2 nutbags, and they're creating a crisis with a foreign government to try to have something in the midterm elections to run on. I think this all shows that Ottawa, I think Ford's the premier of Ottawa. No, Ottawa's a city. It doesn't matter. That's how insignificant Canada is. We don't even know who their players are. But they've created a trade war to have an election tactic. This is criminal.
Yep.
It's a violation of the Hatch Act and treason.
Yep. You know, Maine borders a lot of Canada, and I used to love to go there, and I haven't been there in
Ontario.
20 plus years.
Ford's the premier of Ontario. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go, but this is what's going on. And this Democrat from Hillary in Biden's campaign, she worked on Biden's presidential campaign in 2020. How'd she end up as the chief of staff to Carney, a girl who worked for Biden's 2020 presidential campaign? How
crazy.
What other conclusion can there be other than the Democrats are creating hostilities with a foreign nation that been at peace with since the War of 1812, because they were with the Brits, you know. But that's a long time, a couple hundred years.
And Canada's, I think, is lost. I don't know how they can save their country from what their government's doing.
Exactly.
Is there any? The only thing that could happen is if Canada joined forces with America and kick China out of the country. That's the only sign we'd see that they're saving their country. I think it's coming down to that right there.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff from Maine, you take care. I appreciate the call. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Does it appear to you that the Democrat, based on what we're seeing here, that the Democrat Party has worked with the Canadian government to create this trade war? Why are we having this trade war all of a sudden? And then this information I just broke this morning to you. I want to take a moment to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate, where you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. Isn't that something? You know, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. And I've been a customer there 15, 20 years, easy. And no matter what type of vehicle you have, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire can get you incredible deals. If you have run flats like I have on one of my cars, oh boy. My last car, I bought it, and the only reason I got it with the run flats on it, it came with run flats, which are very, very expensive, is because I know Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. He has incredible deals on run flats. If you have a Tesla, he's got the special tools for that, and he can get all the name brands you know and love too. He also has thousands of good used tires in stock for just as low as $35 a tire, and that's out the door and on the road too. That's right. Give him a call. He also does tire repairs. My father-in-law went in there for a tire repair the other day. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that there is most definitely the Democrats, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. The Democrats are colluding with the government of Canada, which is a criminal activity, to create a trade war, create hostilities trying to create chaos as a midterm election strategy. That's the only thing I can conclude from it. All right. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, guys. And if everyone who has not already done it could like the video, that would be super awesome. Hold on, guys. Oh, where is that? Oh, boy. Okay. Hold on. We'll be back shortly. Okay. Okay, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hold on, guys. I was looking for my laptop. Hold on, guys. We'll be back shortly. Okay, if you're on hold, stand by. We got about 90 seconds. We'll be back from the radio break. Right. Okay. 1 minute. We'll be back in 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. We'll be back. Stand by. Less than a minute now. Things are not going well for the Democrats. Less than 30 seconds. All right, we're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug. What's up?
I'm thinking, bad enough we have liberals in this country, but now the other main problem is we have these judges that should not be judges. They should be removed from the bench. How can a judge say that this guy, maybe he's mentally ill, but he wasn't that mentally ill. He was able to plot a very smart way of doing it. He went around and had no problem. It wasn't somebody that needs to be led around by somebody. This guy knows what he's doing. He should have been.
Let me tell you, this guy, this golf course assassination plot in California against the First Lady. This guy, they got him. He went there 2 days in a row. The first day he was scouting around, taking pictures. He went back a second day and was videotaping and taking photos. And some of Trump's staff got suspicious and called the cops on him. And then when the sheriff's deputies arrived, he told them that he was a federal agent with State Department security, the State Department Security Service. He even produced some kind of badge. And then he had all this information I detailed. I mean, this guy, he has no business in mental health court. I mean, what are they going to do? Send him the juvie like they did try to do with Michael Skakel back in the day? I mean, this is insanity.
I'm telling you, man, that judge really is
a liberal.
The problem in this country. Whatever he is, he doesn't belong on the bench, man. There's got to be a way to get rid of some of these people.
The judge is the one that needs to be in the mental facility.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that judge is really sick in the head. Yeah, man, how can you?
Well, because you know the judge is a criminal judge in Los Angeles County, so you know he's a liberal. You know, if this were any other first lady, past first lady, and this happened, he would throw the book at them. But he hates Trump, and that hatred goes to Melania.
It's amazing how these people these liberals, whatever they are, judges or whatever, they just try to find any possible thing they can to go against anything President Trump does. I mean, no matter what he does, they look for the smallest detail. I mean, you say anything to them, they bring out, well, how about President Trump? I mean, they don't want to stay on the subject. They always want to just find something to say about President Trump. They're really mentally ill, like you said. These people are nuts, and unfortunately, the media is backing them and trying to do everything they can to help them.
Well, that's really they're called really Democrats, and Democrats are nuts.
I'm hoping somebody like Elon Musk will start buying some of these companies up and fix them like he did with
the one that I would really like them to look into is this, what looks to me to be collusion between the Democrat Party and the Canadian government to cause a trade war.
Yeah.
Because that is most definitely what it looks like. All right, Doug, I appreciate the call, all right? Now, Jessica Tarloff over on the 5, she gave an interview. I want to play a couple of clips here. And she brought there's 2 clips I'm going to play. This first one, this is Jessica Tarloff from the 5, the liberal girl on the 5. This is the first one. She has a regret that she shared during this interview. Jessica Tarloff. Okay, so what Jessica Tarloff is saying, the next clip she's going to talk about how Trump makes her cry. You don't want to miss that. Okay, so what Jessica Tarloff is talking about here is that she regrets that that Trump didn't get reelected in 2020 because in the 4 years he was off, and it's amazing that he did this because they were trying to kill him multiple times. They tried to put him in prison. They were arresting him all the time. They were breaking into his house. And during the Autopin administration, President Trump was very busy putting together a complete strategy and great team for his second term. And they've come back and they're so effective, she can't handle it. So she says she wishes that President Trump has said this a couple of times. You guys should have just left me alone. He says if my 2 terms were back to back, I'd be retired by now. You'd be rid of me, and here I am. And yeah. And you know, when I remember when President Trump left office in his first term, I said on the program, and those of you that were listening then heard me talk about this a lot. I said this, you know, he's going to come back and win a second and non-consecutive term. I said that first before anyone. And the reason I knew that is I saw President Trump the last 15 minutes of his first term, okay, up at Mar-a-Lago when he flew in on Air Force One and everything. And it was 15 minutes before the Autopin swearing in inauguration. And I saw him and he was smiling ear to ear. And I had a YouTube video about this. It's up on my, and I said, you know, he doesn't have a worry in the world. He knows something we don't know right now, and that's that he's coming back. And I spent 4 years telling you guys, long before he announced and all of that he's going to run, he's going to win, and his second term is going to be better than the first term because he's going to come back with a mandate. And sure enough, that's what's happened. And Jessica Tarloff understands they screwed up. That's right. They screwed up. And I don't know how President Trump found time in those 4 years with the assassination attempts and getting arrested and the break-ins of his house and all this stuff, how he found time to organize his team the way he has, but he did it. And then Jessica Tarloff, she talks here about how President Trump makes her cry sometimes. She actually, literally, not, you know, she cries because of the president. Listen.
Donald Trump once came after you on Truth Social for citing some polling numbers, and he wrote this. Why does Fox News allow failed TV personality Jessica Tarloff to soil the Five? Her voice, her manner, and above all else, which he says are a disgrace to television broadcasting. When you read that on Truth Social, do you feel terrible? You go, I like that.
Why? Really? My husband will try to gauge the reaction. Can she see the value in her platform and her persona being elevated like this? You know, hero to the resistance left, etc. And then I'm mostly in tears about it. Not that one in particular.
So what really gets to you?
What really gets to me is threatening my job.
I do like his show. I like all of your shows, actually. I'm glad Jessica's not there. Because I think
I love it.
I think your show would be better without her, but you know, who am I to say that? I think it would be a lot better.
I think people who act as if it is not meaningful that the most powerful person in the world is personally attacking you are being dishonest. And I see no reason to do that. And I've shared that with my colleagues.
What do they say?
It's not nice. They also know that if you engage him, it just makes him stronger. Like, you know, in The Little Mermaid, when Ursula keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I have a 2 and a 4-year-old, so we're deep in the Disney trope. That's how I see Trump when he's being fed.
Oh, he's being fed by the Five, and she cries in her pillow in her husband's arms. Oh, my goodness. You know, get a thicker skin, okay? Get a thicker skin, Jessica Tarloff. I mean, the things that people say about him. They shot him, and they try to do it again. And you're the victim? I want to talk about Sloman Central Air Conditioning. Oh, man. Guys, if you've been putting off getting a new unit, it's time to stop because Sloman Central Air Conditioning has a deal that is the best deal I've ever seen on an air conditioning unit for your home here in the state of Florida. Listen to this. With Sloman Central Air Conditioning, you can get a high-efficiency, 5-ton, 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 8 months. It comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, which includes annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant, so there's no annual maintenance cost. You'll also receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included in your AC package. What an incredible deal. Give them a call right now. 561-217-COOL. That's COOL. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. We'll be right back. Yeah, I think Jessica Tarloff needs to toughen up a little bit. What do you guys think? I think she needs to toughen up. Let's see here. I've got so much to cover. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. This is a good one. That's what I'm going to come back with. Okay. All right. I'm going to come back with this one. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is till we're back. Okay, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, guys. I ate all the rest of my jelly beans. I went to grab a jelly bean that just now, and they're all gone. Oh, boy. Oh, man, oh, man. Welcome, everyone. Those of you that are new, welcome, and make sure you subscribe. And if everybody could please take a moment to like the video. When you guys like the video, it really helps a lot, okay? And if you'd like to support the channel, become a member. Click the join button there. It's just $5 a month. You're supporting me. You're supporting the content. And you get access to the members-only emojis. And my wife put together last week a whole bunch of new members-only emojis. And you get your number or your name standing out in a different color so I can see your chat better in the live chat. So just click that join button, become a member, and that'd be appreciated too. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, Jessica, I mean, everything they've done to Trump, and she's the victim, right? Give me a break. You got to have a thick skin. I mean, look at the trolls in the live chat. You know, the things they say about me. Do you ever see me get upset? Nope. Who cares what those? You don't care what, you know, when people, you know, what do you care? People say terrible things about you. That's part of the job. Yeah, the jelly beans I eat are sour. Yeah, I eat the sour jelly beans. I like sour. All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. Exactly. I mean, the things people say, I mean, you know, and she cries. Yeah, I got a couple things here I got to get to when we get back. Okay. Okay, hang in there, guys. Less than 2 minutes. Okay, hang in there. 1 minute. We'll be back in about a minute. You're all welcome to call in. All opinions are welcome. The toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. Less than a minute. We'll be back. Hold on. We are back. I'm Brian. Thanks for joining, everyone. And man, oh man, we have so much to cover. I've covered a lot. Okay, now I wanted to share this. This is amazing. This is from CNN. I love it. This is great. And listen, this CNN, some information on our president.
Okay. The president Republicans most admire. It's Donald Trump. This is a historic comparison. A majority of Republicans say, 53% say, he's the Republican president they most admire. Ronald Reagan, who traditionally has won that match, Donald Trump nearly triples up on this. Reagan at just 18%. And then Abraham Lincoln, who by most historic accounts is the greatest president of all time. But Republicans say that the president that they most admire by, what is this? This is 6-7 times as many. Donald John Trump at 53%, easily crushing Abe Lincoln at 8%. And the Elon poll showed that he was the greatest president as well.
Okay. Okay, so this is amazing. The president Republicans most admire is not between Trump, Reagan, and Lincoln, right? Is Trump by far. Trump by far, right? Trump at 53%, President Reagan at 18%, Lincoln at just 8%. That's amazing, isn't it? Isn't that something? Well, explain this to me. CNN, they're promoting that. They've been trying to get this narrative going for quite some time that MAGA voters are just fed up and they're tired and they're moving on and they're rejecting Trump. Everything with the left is a false narrative, right? And they're promoting this poll, which is a bunch of nonsense, that low T Tallarico, T for testosterone, that Tallarico is now in first place in Texas. Are you kidding me? A guy who doesn't want the Bible in schools or in public, and he wants the Quran, and he supports boys and girls sports and all this lunacy. This is part of the false narrative. So Republicans say that Trump is the Republican president they admire most by far, 53%. CNN brings this guy on last night who says he's a Republican for Tallarico. Listen.
But what got me angry, first of all, was the incessant noise coming from these people, the incessant lying. They're not good neighbors. They're damaging people. The Republican Party in this state doesn't care. We've been fighting this for 3 years, and we realize that the Republican Party has given us nothing more than the Medicare. I have been a staunch Republican my entire life.
Oh, yes.
Anyone that was in office during this mess that hasn't supported this is not going to get my vote. And amazingly, we had 2 Democrats, one absolute running for Congress and one running for governor, that were willing to come out and listen to us. Not the Republicans, the Democrats.
Keep in mind, this guy says he's a Republican. He's had enough of these Republicans and Trump. He's now going for Tallarico.
And it's really changed my thinking.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's, give me a break. So I want you to understand this. To go from Republican, to go from MAGA to Tallarico, to Democrat, and he's going to go Democrat straight down, right? And he's in Texas. That means that you would have to change from protecting the border to erasing the southern border and having a complete open border. You would have to go from the traditional idea that only girls should be in girls' sports to allowing boys in girls' sports. You would have to support unlimited taxation, abortion on demand up until the day of birth and beyond. You can't go from one to the other. The only time someone goes from Republican to Democrat is if they have a head injury, we're always a Democrat, or they're just lying. You can't go, it's possible to go from Democrat to Republican because you're going from demonic immorality to a grown-up position with conservatism of morality, right? And how can there be this? And these are both CNN reports. One CNN report is that MAGA Republicans, that Republicans are rejecting Trump. But then the other report says that Trump's the most admired Republican president in history. how can both be true, right? How can both be true? It's not possible to be true for both of them. One could be true, the other one cannot be. But don't let that stop. Don't let that stop the Democrats from pulling their axe. Now, this was amazing. You know, everyone's saddened for the loss of Dolly Parton, and we lost Tim Burton yesterday. And I know people say celebrities die in three. We had a third one this week. You guys remember J.P. Morgan from The Gong Show, who was a singer? J.P. Morgan passed away this week. So there's your three celebrities: J.P. Morgan, Dolly Parton, and Tim Curry. And I like Tim Curry. I used to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show in Fort Lauderdale for years. They had the live actors doing it at the Cinema and Draft House on 17th Street Causeway. I used to go there quite a bit. It was a lot of fun. And he was really good. You know, Tim Curry was in The Hunt for Red October. He was the doctor on the Russian submarine in The Hunt for Red October. He was really good in that. Everybody liked Tim Curry. And of course, some other great movies. But he was very good, Tim Curry. Everybody loves Dolly Parton. And this is an interesting clip. You may if this hasn't been circulated to you yet on social media, it will. Dolly Parton is the first celebrity of her level that's loved by everyone, and she never got involved in politics and things. She gave an interview with ABC News, and they tried to get her to comment on Trump. And listen to the exchange. This is Dolly Parton, fake news reporter at ABC News, and she got control of this guy, Dolly Parton.
We have a president of the United States who said those things on the bus.
I'm talking about the Access Hollywood tape, okay?
We have a president of the United States who said those things on that bus.
I'm not into that. I do not get into that. Of course, I have my opinion about everybody and everything. But I learned a long time ago, keep your damn mouth shut if you want to study show business. I'm not in politics. I'm an entertainer.
And yet, you're also a role model.
Yes, I am. That's why I don't talk about it. So if you decide you may want to ask me something more serious, don't, because I'm not going to answer.
Fair one, might still ask.
Oh boy, she was good. Wasn't she awesome? And yeah, I know. Everybody loved Dolly Parton. How could you not, right? You know, do you guys think that President Trump might go to her funeral? Wouldn't that be something in Tennessee? That would freak him out, wouldn't it? You know, he ordered the flags lowered to half staff. That is a very unusual thing to do for a civilian. It doesn't happen very often. Has it happened before for a celebrity? There was another person he ordered them lowered for. I can't remember who it was. Do you guys remember? But it's a big honor to do this. And, you know, she made that movie with Sylvester Stallone, Rhinestone. And Sylvester Stallone's been talking about Dolly Parton in some interviews since she passed. He told some story about them riding on a horse when they were filming Rhinestone. And he was obviously good friends with Dolly Parton. And President Trump and Sylvester Stallone are very, very good friends. And he pointed him to that Hollywood ambassador position. And Stallone lives up the street from Mar-a-Lago. That would be something. If President Trump went to Dolly Parton's funeral, I would be very, very happy with that. Now, I want to ask you this. This is a very important question. Are you in pain? Well, then go see Dr. Appleton. You know, Dr. Appleton in his robotic laser weight pain treatment has rid me of pain 7 times. His robotic laser works on every type of pain I've ever seen. I was talking a couple weeks ago. It's a funny thing. I meet listeners out and about in public, and before they say a word to me, I know when they come up to me, they're going to talk to me about Dr. Appleton and how he rid them of pain, because people come up to me and they'll have their hand on a part of their body. Sometimes it's their neck, their elbow, their hip. Sometimes they'll walk up to me with their hand on one of their knees and they're kind of limping. And the same thing. Hey, Brian, I'm a listener of yours. I love the show. You know, I used to hurt right here until I went to see Dr. Appleton, and now I don't have pain in my knee and my elbow and my neck, wherever the body part they have their hand on. It's kind of funny. I don't usually say anything to them until they tell me, but I get a kick out of it. And that's awesome. And when I talk about Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser, and then I meet people that are living pain-free. I know what it's like to live in pain because I did. I lived in a lot of pain until Dr. Appleton rid me of pain and suffering with his robotic laser wave pain treatment. And it makes me feel so good that I was able to share Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser wave pain treatment with you. Go see Dr. Appleton. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. And the consultation is free. If you have x-rays or scans, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will gladly look them over. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yes, here we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to shoot it to that when we get back. All right. Okay, stand by, guys. We'll be back shortly. We're in radio break right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll be back in 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones when we get back. Okay, 30 seconds. We'll be back, guys. 30 seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, and you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Carol from Alabama.
Hey, Carol in Alabama. What's on your mind?
I got a couple points I want to ponder with you. On Canada, the woman that you're talking about, she is a Democratic operative, as you've already explained.
Oh, you're talking about the Canadian operation, yeah.
Yes. You know, Carney actually created that position to put her in.
That's correct.
And she she is the one that advised him to not take the deal that Trump had derived at. Another thing is, I watch Barry Cunningham all the time. And he had the reporters actually said it on air. I couldn't believe this woman. She wasn't a reporter. She worked for the financial status of the premier, whatever. But they're going to actually bail out. Like, they're going to create like a COVID fund.
Well, what they've done, this is what's going on here, okay? The Democrats have no candidates or no issues, and they're not in power. They don't have any superstar candidates in the midterms. The two most high-profile Democrats are Ahmed, the Muslim guy in Michigan, and this lunatic here in Florida, Angie Nixon, who's running for Senate, who's a Democrat socialist, okay? So they're trying to create a crisis. And what they've done, really, they've already done it. They've created an international conflict with Canada, and we've gotten two indicators. One, this American girl who worked for Hillary Clinton's campaign, Joe Biden's campaign, and Bloomberg, is in this newly created chief of staff position of Prime Minister Carney as an advisor. And then we had Ford, who's the premier of Ontario, said 2 days ago that if he could, he'd come to America and campaign for the Democrats. So we have two pieces of evidence, in particular this American girl who's breaking the Hatch Act and committing treason against her country. They have created, that's this trade war that blew up out of nowhere. Now we know why. The Democrats have done it.
Yeah, another thing is, do you think it was an irony that they all of a sudden got Prince Harry to come back to England, Great Britain?
What's that got to do with it? No, I think he and his see, this is what Harry and his wife found out about. Okay, he went back to England for the same reason that Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres returned to America. Why did Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell return to America? Why do you think? Remember, they were in Ireland, in the UK?
Yeah.
Why do you think they came back to America? Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres. They fled to England when Trump got elected. They came back. Why did they come back? Same reason Harry went back to England.
They needed it. They need the status in the United States.
Well, yeah, okay, yes. In Ireland and in England, no one knows who Ellen DeGeneres is. No one knows who Rosie O'Donnell is. So they're not celebrities over there. No, they're not famous over there. Nobody knows who they are over there. So they're like regular people. So they don't get recognized. Oh my gosh, Rosie O'Donnell's here. Ellen DeGeneres is here. Look. They don't know who they are. They go to the store, nobody knows who they are. So they came back here for the celebrity. Prince Harry and his weirdo wife went back to England because no one cares about them here, right?
You do realize that Russia is threatening to hit Great Britain.
They're not going to attack Great Britain. Why would they do that? Who's talking about it?
Well, I don't know. It just
why would they do that? Why would Putin attack England? That makes no sense.
Because Great Britain is supplying Ukraine with all the ammunition.
So are we.
The munitions.
So are we.
Huh?
So are we.
Well,
and the rest of the NATO
nations. Not directly anymore.
Whoever is saying that is either just saying things because they have nothing of content, or they're a crazy person.
One more thing. The lady that I was telling you about, she actually admitted it, she was explaining the bailouts that are going to go to the small businesses. And, Carney used to run the bank.
Okay, I'm really not. Open Phones is tomorrow, and I'm not interested in the internal politics of Canada. However, I have no doubt in my mind that, if you're on hold, hang in there. I have no doubt in my mind that the Democrats have created this trade war. Now, yesterday, when I was talking about the victory of Darlene Graham, I was telling you the Save America Act has been, that's basically the passage of the Save America Act. This is the Secretary of State in Georgia, and he's talking about the citizenship verification. Listen to what he says. How could anyone be opposed to this? This is the Secretary of State of Georgia.
But in Georgia, we're the first state to do citizenship verification. So we did that. Let's talk more about that because I like Georgia's approach. I've talked about your approach actually to the Texas legislature a couple months ago. Could you talk just a little bit about what you all do for citizenship verification? First of all, we're really fortunate that we are real ID with driver's license. And right now, that's over 90% of all voters are being registered. Probably it's about over 95% of all voters are being registered through the process of working in conjunction with the Department of Driver Services. So when you get your driver's license, what they do is they verify, oh, you were born in America. And if you come from another state, we want to see a birth certificate. Oh, you were born in, oh, you weren't born in America. Okay, now do you have lawful status? And then also, if you have lawful status, have you become an American and then prove your citizenship? So the Department of Driver Services is doing a lot of heavy lifting for us. We get this information, then we can take that and we do our own, check of everything before we put people in the vote rolls.
Perfect. We have this in Florida as well. That what Ratzenberger just described is the Save America Act. They have it in Georgia. We have it in Florida, and it's fine. And it's there's not even a thing to debate about it. It isn't 1926. It's 2026. Everyone has ID, and doing this through the driver's licenses, which is where people go to get their state-issued ID, even if they don't have a driver's license. That's the best way to do it. It works. When I go to the driver's license renewal place, which is a nightmare of a place to go to, I must say, I had to go there recently with my wife. Here in South Florida, I see people with passports all the time. Okay, they need that to get their ID. It's very normal. People from other countries, they have their passports with them. But that's what the left don't want. This terrifies them. And we all know why. And it is the most reasonable legislation I have ever heard. Now, I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. Oh, man, the holidays will be here before you know it. I went through last year, I went through all the holidays. I went through Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything. I didn't gain an ounce from all the weight I lost at Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know why? Because Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the home of the metabolic reset my metabolism. This is a doctor-developed metabolic reset system. They stay behind the program because they've spent years refining the process by working with thousands of patients, of which I am one. Okay, and the metabolic reset at Coastal Weight Loss Secret is built around the science of metabolic health, not trends, not shortcuts. And I did not realize this while I was losing all my weight, but while I was losing the weight, Coastal Weight Loss Secret also was resetting my metabolism, and that's why I've not gained the weight back. Give them a call. The consultation's free. Virtual appointments are available. So if you can't make it into the office, that's okay. That's okay. You can do a video call no matter where you're located, out of town, another state, wherever you are. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation right now. 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. That's 561-359-3418. And online, coastalweightlossSecret.com. Okay, 2 hours down. There's one to go. When we get back, I've got a lot more to cover. I've only just scratched the surface of today's topics. You're welcome to call in about anything I have brought up so far. The number is 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I was looking at this, I just mentioned this quickly because we're right up against the break. Why all of a sudden are people upset at these cameras? They got the flock cameras. Why is anyone upset about this? I like true crime. My wife and I, we watch these true crime shows on ID. It seems like every murder pretty much is solved by all these cameras we have everywhere. I don't understand. Or, you get a silver alert or one of those things going on, an amber alert. They find people with these cameras. To me, I know Ron DeSantis doesn't like them. I got a ticket with one once years and years ago. But I don't, and sometimes I get the toll by plate thing from them, right, on the turnpike. But I don't understand why all of a sudden people are against these cameras that are out in public everywhere. So what? You know, crime. You know how many crimes are not committed now because of them? We don't know because they haven't happened. And how many are solved because of them? Seems to me the only people that are upset at these flock cameras are people that are up to no good, or maybe up to no good, and just don't like the idea that they can't get away with things like they used to be able to get away with things. I don't get this at all. There's all kinds of people that are busted for all kinds of crimes because of these cameras all over the country all the time. And somehow people have created a villain out of them. I don't quite get it. But if you have any thoughts on it, that's welcome too. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back. There's so much more to discuss. I'm Brian, it's Steve Kane Show, back right after this break. Someone says in the chat, Captain Howdy here, he said, the USA, that tells you right there they're not an American. We don't say USA. We say the United States or America. But he says, USA has never had a worse unemployment rate than now. Yesterday, a story broke that 50,000 illegals were arrested by ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement. That's 50,000 jobs created right there, man. But see these foreigners, they get in the chats and they're saying things. Okay. Hang in there. Let me pull this up. Okay, we'll be back in about 2 minutes, guys. Okay. Okay, less than 2 minutes. We have a new break schedule. So you see me here. I'm coordinating with Mike and everything. So I'm not used to the new break schedule. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. Now, I want to tell you guys, I meant to mention this earlier, but the new break schedule, I forgot to mention. I was telling you guys to click the join button, become a member. Starting Monday, I'm going to start a Members Monday live stream that's only available to members. And so if you become a member or are already a member, you'll have access to that. That's going to be beginning Monday. Okay, Members Monday. It'll be a members-only live stream every Monday. All right, you have to be a member of the channel to participate in that. You click that join button and become a member, and you can be a part of it. All right. Less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute. Work stream. Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Ten seconds. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is Brian, and I'm calling from Tampa.
All right, Tampa. What's on your mind?
Hey, it's a MAGA morning.
Yes, it's a wonderful MAGA morning.
The flock cameras.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's a MAGA, not mega, but MAGA.
That's right. The flock cameras.
I wanted to talk about. The flock cameras.
What about them?
So I was kind of I was listening to a report this morning about the flock cameras here in Florida and how Ron DeSantis is totally against it.
Yes, he is.
And it kind of got me thinking about it just a little bit. when they had a report of a police officer tracking down his ex-girlfriend using the flock cameras. So they're kind of being used for the wrong things, especially by their officials.
Well, that's going to happen. I mean, a police officer, they can run anyone's plate. They're not allowed to do it, right? They're not supposed to do it, and they can get in a lot of trouble for doing it, but they can still run anyone's plate as an example. You know what I mean? Even if it's not duty related.
Yes, sir.
So, so I don't know. This is what I know. I personally believe that, and know from watching true crime shows that these street cameras everywhere, that's basically detective work now. Between that and DNA, it's all detective work. Now, you don't have to be some highly skilled Columbo to solve crimes. You just get the camera footage.
Correct.
And that's
Correct.
basically what they do these days.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it does make our streets safer, and I'm all for that. I mean, there is a lot of lunatics out there, crazy people.
Yeah.
And so, if they're used for the right ways, I mean, it's a good thing. But just, like I said, it's just kind of
I did see that story about the cop and his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or so. I did see that this morning. It was connected to the story.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, look, police
Right.
there are cops. I mean, how many cops do you see going down the road out of their jurisdiction, not on duty, 2 counties away from where their department is, going 80 miles an hour on the highway, right?
Yeah.
And they know no one's going to do anything about it because they're a policeman.
Correct. I told you that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind it. I don't mind that I'm filmed everywhere. But again, I'm on YouTube about 12 hours a day, so I guess I'm kind of used to it.
You sure are.
You know?
You sure are. You do a great job at it.
All right, man. Brian in Tampa.
Brian. You have an awesome day.
All right, appreciate it. I think take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hey, Carlos. What's up, my man?
Okay, so Ron DeSantis is just slightly a little bit better chess player than you are.
Okay.
Okay. Why don't we take everybody's guns away?
Well, the difference between the cameras on the streets and the guns is one's a constitutional guarantee, the Second Amendment.
Right. So freedom of privacy is not constitutional.
You don't have freedom of privacy in public spaces. That's why. That's why, that's why. Excuse me. Let me finish. You don't have right to privacy in public spaces, and as a YouTuber, you guys that watch me on YouTube, I'm always making videos all over the place. Right, anywhere I go, anywhere I travel, there's no right to privacy in public.
Okay, so now here's my point. Let's say back in the 1700s, England had cameras all over. With the Minuteman, with George Washington, we would have never had our freedom because they would have known exactly where we're at. They would have pinpointed us. There's a reason why other countries don't invade us because we're overwhelmed with guns, first of all. But if they were to invade us, that's the first thing they'll take over is the cameras, and then we have no fighting chance at all, no matter how much guns we have.
I got to tell you, I watch a lot of true crime, and this is what true crime boils down to today: detective work. Like when I was a kid, detectives were like real cops who went and investigated. Now they don't even need to go to the crime scene. All they need is DNA. Right? This is what detective work. DNA,
right?
Cell phone data, so they can position phones when they get DNA identified to a person, they can connect them. They can connect their cell phone to the crime scene or the area of it, and video footage. I have seen so many ID specials where they have caught the killer because they caught their car going down a street near where the person lived that was murdered and things like this. These street cameras, I'll tell you, the other day, I was driving to the radio station. It was 4 a.m., and I saw a woman at 4 o'clock in the morning jogging down Glades Road in Boca Raton by herself. And I'm thinking, what an idiot, right? With all these murderers and creeps that are out there. But I say, hey, there's cameras everywhere. So maybe, she'll be caught on camera. Right. We're not talking about surveillance in your home. which they monitor you anyway. Do you have a? I don't want to say one of the names because I'll turn everybody's on, but do you have like one of those Alexa things or anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well,
yes, I do.
you're being listened to. You've got a listening device in your home.
Right, but I get all that to solving crimes and all that, but those cameras are not going to stop her from getting raped or killed. She's still going to get that. They'll catch the guy. Don't get me wrong.
They'll catch the guy.
She's done. But she's done. Now that lady who has the morning show that they never found her mother, there was gazillions of cameras all over the streets and everywhere. They still haven't found the guy. That's one thing. It's an iffy situation.
The Savannah Guthrie thing. There's more.
And she was rich now.
There's more to that meets the eye. I don't want to get sidetracked on that, but the cameras are in. We're talking about cameras in public. Let me tell you why I bring this up. There are certain things that people talk about. Oh, the new media. The old media is no good. The media have. Let me answer these calls that are coming in like crazy. Okay, the media have created two villains other than Trump, right? Two villains, right? Are you with me?
Right.
Okay. The cameras we're talking about out in public, right?
Right.
And data centers.
Yeah.
Everybody hates data centers. All of a sudden, everybody hates these cameras out in public, and nobody really knows why. It's not the same as guns because you have a Second Amendment guarantee to have a gun. You do not have a right to privacy in public.
Well, I don't know about that, but I guess. But I'm just saying, if another country was to invade us, that's the first thing they'll hook up all the cameers. Then they'll know where we're coming and we're coming after them or anything.
All the cameras around America are. They're networked. They can pull them up. I mean, that sounds like out of a movie.
Well, I just thought I'd throw that at you.
All right, appreciate it, Carlos. Okay, all right, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Sean, West Lake Worth. What's up, Bri?
All right, what's going on?
Hey, so first off, that guy was definitely a fake conservative because even though I'm mad at Trump, I'm not going to not vote for Byron.
Oh, you're talking about the CNN guy,
Texas guy,
the Talarico guy, yeah.
Or the guy for Talarico. So you're right on that. And two, the flock cameras are a Fourth Amendment problem. That's why.
And what's that?
DeSantis is coming out in favor.
What's the problem with the Fourth Amendment?
You know what the Fourth Amendment is, right?
Is that the right
unreasonable search and seizure
and all that? Yeah.
Correct. So what it does is it creates a mosaic. So let's say camera A sees you leave home, camera B sees you enter a doctor's office, camera C sees you leave the doctor's office, cameras D, E, and F show where you go afterwards. It creates a mosaic of your thing.
It sounds like you're talking about my iPhone that knows, that's listening to me and monitors my movements and then starts serving me up ads on Instagram about the places I've been.
Correct. And that's one piece of it. But what your iPhone is not doing is collecting all this data and making it into one big mosaic. So that's the problem. So there's a Supreme Court, there's actually jurisprudence on this. So that's the issue with it. I agree with DeSantis.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, okay? I get annoyed every time. I cannot tell you how often I go out to my mailbox and I'm getting something from SunPass, even though I got a SunPass in my window where they took a picture of my license plate and I owe them money. Okay, I've been through this so many times, right? And it's annoying, and I get that, and I have gotten a ticket once from one of those traffic cameras, but we're talking about cameras that are in public places, right, on the streets of America. If, as an example, I have cameras all around my house, okay? All around my house, front yard, backyard, everything. I got the doorbell camera. I got cameras everywhere, right? Because, I've got some, you may have noticed there's some people, I don't understand why this is, but there's some people in the audience that don't like me. And in my cameras, I can see my neighbors' houses. I can see the next street over, like at the end of the street, the cross street and all that stuff. Am I violating their privacy?
No. Well, see, I mean, it depends on who you ask, but I'm just
asking you. You're against these cameras. I can see
I have cameras.
My,
whoa.
Yeah.
I have the cameras too, and like I said, so that's going to Ring. I use Ring. I'm sorry, I don't use the guy that you sponsor
Shame
on
on
your thing.
you,
I didn't
Sloman.
listen to you. I know.
But anyway,
I
go
know.
ahead.
But no, it's just the government cannot avoid the Fourth Amendment merely by collecting, all this stuff. And Flock is a private company as well.
I understand
so
that my
the
guess is, this is my guess on this, okay? I'll get to the bottom line here, okay? Because I don't want to have a million calls on this where it's the same conversation every time, because it's a very minute it's going to be the same conversation with every caller like we're having. So I don't want to have like a long line of that. I'm not into killing time.
Gotcha.
That's what people do on the air that have nothing to say. But this is the thing. Flock is a company. My guess is that this is really not about the cameras. It's about someone else who wants to have the contract for the cameras. That's not the Flock, right? It's about the government getting another contract with another company. Somebody wants to move in.
Yeah,
they don't like this company, so they're not talking about the cameras. They're talking about the particular cameras by the Flock company, right? You understand what I mean? So that's what's going on here. Somebody's looking to get the camera contract. That's what it's all
there
about.
is another company that's doing it. And like I said, your license plate getting read on one camera is not bad. We consent to that when we hop on the turnpike, but it's this whole mosaic that they're a searchable database, and of course they can be abused. And I know the old saying when the Patriot Act came out,
but hold on a
if you don't have
second. Hold on
anything-
a second while I go through these lines.
Good.
But you do. Are you back with me? Did I lose you? Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. Okay. I think I lost him. Hold on a second. All right. Did I lose you, West Lakeworth? Oh, no, Mary, you're on the line. Okay, this is you. Okay, I got my lines mixed up. I'm sorry.
No worries.
No
worries.
Here's the thing, okay? It's a fake issue. It's being created, and like the data center bigotry, okay? Everybody's against the data centers. Everyone uses freaking AI and the internet. How can you be against the data centers when you're all using ChatGPT and you're all using Google, which also uses an AI now? The media is still powerful, and they've worked people up against these two things that are absurd. The Flock camera, no doubt about it, it's not about Fourth Amendment, right to privacy, search and seizure, nothing, none of that. It's about another company wants the contract. Some politician wants to get paid, some company wants to get paid, someone's been bought off and they're pushing it through. They want to get rid of this one company. It just shows you how people are manipulated. I mean, why are people against data centers? I mean, that's absurd, right?
Well, I think the water usage. So Post Springs is like now like dry and empty. So I think it's the environmental part. And again, I'm not a bleeding heart liberal.
Everyone uses the internet. Everyone is using AI, whether they know it or not. Okay, if you go to Google, you used to Google stuff. If you Google something now, you get a Google AI response before you get a regular standard Google response. Everyone's using AI. Everyone's using the internet. And if you're really against data centers, become Amish. Okay, like these Amish that say they're going to move out of New York in the news today. I mean, the media. What I'm explaining, the purpose of this discussion about the cameras. I knew when I brought it up, the lines lit up like crazy. I'm not going to continue this for the rest of the show, okay? I don't.
We're good.
But the reason I brought it up is it shows you how even smart people like you and Carlos in Port St. Lucie, who's a good MAGA guy, we've had many good conversations, that even smart, intelligent people can be manipulated by traditional media today. To have a firm belief on a position in your heart and your mind that you've been brainwashed into believing. Data centers and the Flock cameras. So anyone who thinks that traditional media doesn't still have juice, right here. Data centers and Flock cameras. I never heard of Flock cameras. I know street cameras. I've never heard Flock camera until like 3 days ago. And now that's all I'm hearing.
Well,
when did you first
new.
hear Flock?
Oh, it's been around for, this is probably 2021 is when it started.
No.
When
did you first hear the name Flock? I heard it like 3 days ago.
No, a little before that, but I think they started in like 2021. I probably heard it about a year ago.
A year
honestly.
ago. Okay. Hey, listen, man,
Yeah.
take care. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, I want to talk about life imaging. September's almost here, but it's still Health Month. Listen, getting your heart scanned, there's no excuse not to do it, okay? There's just no excuse. There's convenient locations, Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County, and Orlando. It takes just 10 minutes. You don't have to get undressed. I left my shirt and jeans on, and I even kept my watch on, okay? I had my Trump watch, everything, and it takes just a few short minutes, and then do you have a heart problem? Do you have cancer? Or, like me, do you get a full, clean bill of health? I was in a panic for years, thinking I was a heart attack waiting to happen because every doctor I've gone to with my high cholesterol for years and years has told me I'm going to have a heart attack in my 50s, and I've been in my 50s for 5 years now. I'm getting a little nervous. I got my heart scan at Life Imaging. No blockage, no plaque buildup. I have the heart of a 25-year-old. But there have been people in this audience whose lives have been saved. There are people in this audience who have found out they have tumors. They had no idea. There are people in this audience who went to Life Imaging after they heard me talking about them that found out that they have blockage. One person had blockage in all of their arteries. And they go to their doctor and they take care of it before it gets worse or they have that heart attack. Call now for your free heart scan with just a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, say free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. My name is Brian. We'll take our break and be right back. If you're on hold, stand by, guys. I'll take more calls after. I mean, come on, guys. Be honest with me in the chat. When did you first hear the term flock camera? Right? Be honest. How many days ago? Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. A year ago, a month ago, a week ago, exactly. Recently, exactly. I heard about it really a few days ago. I'd never heard I know about the cameras, but flock camera, never thought about it before. A month ago, yeah. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We're in radio break. If you're on hold, stand by. Never, months. It's the media manipulation. Now, let me ask you this. Yes or no? And I'd love to hear your calls on the air. Do you like the idea that we have the public cameras? I do. I think it makes us definitely make 5 minutes ago. Exactly. We're not talking about cameras in your house. We're talking about cameras out in public. Okay, hold on. We got about a little more than a minute, and we'll be back, guys. We're in radio station break, and I took that break way late. I shouldn't have taken that last call. About a minute, we'll be back. There's no right to privacy in public. There's camera. Every store you drive by has cameras. Every store, everywhere. That get the road and the parking lot and everything else. I don't like the tickets from the cameras. I will tell you that. Well, I'll take calls on it. You're welcome to call me on it. All right, 30 seconds. Less than 20 seconds. All right, we're back. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian, the masked lady, Louise in Boca.
Yes.
Yeah, I must. You don't have to act so enthusiastically.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah.
I might have missed something. Are they talking about the cameras in Publix and in shopping centers and by banks, traffic? What? I mean, I think they're great. If you're not doing anything wrong, what's the problem?
Well, I may have to reevaluate my position since you're agreeing with me. But you know, what we're talking, this is what's going on here. Okay, the street cameras are in public, and you know, as I was saying, you guys that watch me on YouTube, okay, and you all should, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. Okay, I am out and about all the time, making YouTube videos. You do not have a right to privacy in public. A lot of people think, like there's a lot of people that go out, they call themselves First Amendment auditors. And what they do is they take cameras and they stand on a public sidewalk and they film a business all day until somebody calls the police. When when you have a camera, you can film anyone, anywhere you want in public. There's no right to privacy. Okay? So this idea that these cameras are a privacy violation is a bunch of nonsense. I promise you, what I said to the caller before the break, there's another company that wants to take over the camera business in the streets. So they're villainizing this Flock camera company. That's what's going on here.
Yes, I can understand that. I think it's great. They've caught criminals, murder. I mean, I think that's wonderful.
My cameras on my house, okay, have sound and everything. I've got cameras everywhere, okay? And if I wanted to, I can see the street at the end of my house on my big screen TV. I can see who's coming and who's going on the streets around my house all the time, you know? And
yes.
And you know, so am I violating their constitutional rights? I don't think so. Every business has cameras, and they get the street too out front. Okay, I mean, this is just nonsense.
It is. That's per usual. What else is new? I had 4 burglaries. I wish I could afford to have all the cameras.
What do you mean 4 burglaries?
4 burglaries, and my neighbor, they cleaned her out about a year ago. I wish we had cameras in the street on the FPL poles or something.
Well, yeah, you know.
Terrible. They caught my guys, underage kids with the mother in on it. They give them a slap on the wrist.
How did they know your house was worthy of breaking into?
Who knows? And God knows it's not.
And their mother was involved?
Oh,
Mom?
No, Brian, you know what the big clue is? When there is no car in the driveway. Yes, because I had sold a car, and that is when this happened. They go around to ringing doorbells.
And their mother was involved? Ma Barker? All right, appreciate the call. I mean, that's a Mother of the Year there. All right, let me see here. Take some more calls. If I may have to rethink my position. The mask lady has never agreed with me. She still wears a mask in 2026 in public, guys, okay? She's nuts. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard in Coral Springs.
Hey, Richard, what's up?
Hey, about the flock cameras, I kind of disagree with the data centers. I can pretty much sum it up in this way. The worldwide internet has been around since the 80s. We never had these data centers. The data centers are a nefarious way for security.
Well, before we get to the data centers,
lockdown.
you know, you're calling me from Coral Springs. I was watching an ID special where the street cameras solved a murder. There was a murder. A woman murdered a younger woman that went to a gym. They went to a gym together on Sample Road.
Yeah,
you may have heard
I'm familiar with
the case. And she murdered the girl because she was younger and hotter, and all the guys wanted her, not the older lady. And they used the cameras in part, the detectives in Coconut Creek and Coral Springs, to prove that the woman was the killer. You know, and these are public cameras on public streets. Now the data centers, that's a whole different thing. Okay, but go ahead about your beef with the data centers.
I understand and agree, and it is definitely helpful. However, as an American with rights as, you know, privacy, our privacy is all but gone. I mean, we're tracked through the phones and our cars and all kinds of things. Going that far beyond, you know, without our permission or having it sent through us is wrong. And as far as the data centers and the land it takes and the water, which was already previously mentioned, not let alone the copper and all the
listen, there's
other
what's going.
materials
We've surrendered all of it. I give you an example, okay? My wife was in the hospital. She was admitted to the hospital. This was a couple years ago, and we were talking to the nurse, and the nurse was talking about what nursing school she went to. Okay, I pulled up Facebook and Instagram. All of a sudden, I'm getting ads about nursing school on my Instagram. The phone's listening to you. It not only does your phone, not only does it listen to you, it geo-tracks you into everywhere you go, and gives you information. And here's the thing: the government invented the internet in the 70s. Okay, it was called the intranet, and it became the internet. And the government is behind it all. And your Alexa devices and your all those other devices that are similar to that. Big Brother is in your home. They're monitoring you all the time. If they want, they can listen in on your conversation. Some of what you say is recorded on these devices. Everybody knows this. There's no privacy anymore. We are in the era of Big Brother. That's just the way it is.
That's correct.
I mean, and you can be in denial.
It doesn't make it right, though, Brian. It doesn't make. I'm not in denial. It's just not. It's not right, and it's never been, asked of us if we're acceptance of it.
No, we know it. We all know it and don't care because.
Well, thanks to Edward Snowden, and look what happened to Edward Snowden on it. He's not even considered a American anymore, and he's a traitor, and he's living in Russia.
I believe Snowden's a double agent working for us still, but I'm whispering it because I don't want to turn everybody's on. I have an Alexa in every room of my house, even the bathrooms. Okay. And they're all listening. By the way, you can listen to me on Alexa, too. If you want to, you guys, play.
But you tell everybody you're recording and you host shows. So I mean, we know, and we say what we say under the guise, that we know that it's being recorded and we're on air. So but great show, Brian.
I appreciate the call. Well, I got a break. I'm apologizing to you guys for this short segment. I went way long on that last break. And so this is a short segment. It is my fault, but we'll take our break and be back on time for the last half hour of the show. Back after this. Okay, we're back in break. Okay, this is our bottom of the hour break. Oh, man, I tell you. I mean, there's no privacy anymore. It's been over for years, right? I mean, all of us have these devices. And we're all being monitored. That's it. I mean, how many of you think you're not being monitored on your phones, on your devices, or listened in on, or you could be listened in on at any particular time? Of course. And everybody knows this, and we accept it. Now, all of a sudden, the cameras, which... everybody's all in a rage about the cameras when everything is listening to us. Come on. Come on. Yeah, how many of you don't have a cell phone but have a landline? I mean, I don't even have the ability to connect a landline in my house. Everything's through the internet now. Right? Exactly. Come on. Come on. You can't, you can't find a payphone anymore. I don't even know if they exist. Well, the reason is you never know. You want to ask it a question or play some music, That's the way it is. Give me a break. It's what I told the caller earlier. Some other company wants the camera contract. And the biggest abuse they have is this one cop with his girlfriend. I mean, come on. Come on. Give me a break. If you're on hold, stand by. If you want to call in, the number's toll free and pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm all behind on the break, so I'm in trouble for the last section of the show here. You have a payphone in your house? Do you have a urinal too? Exactly. There's no landlines and it's nothing. There's no privacy. Even the Amish have cell phones, right? You see the Amish, they have cell phones. Yeah, the landline's digital, exactly. There's no real landline anymore, exactly. We have given up our privacy willingly because we want the tech, right? We want the tech, so we've given up our privacy. You got to accept it. And the data center, this is the thing about the data centers, okay? The internet has gotten so big, the AI is the new internet, and the data centers is like, it's a part of the public utility, like power stations. And I understand about the water and the electricity, and there'll have to be some regulation about that. But this war against data centers is a losing battle. A losing battle. 1 minute, we'll be back. All right, less than a minute now. Everything's recorded everywhere. Do any of you watch any of the First Amendment auditors on YouTube? I do. I watch them on occasion. There's a certain sameness. I get tired of it after a while, but okay, 20 seconds. All right, less than 15. All right, we're back, and you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother Brian, good morning.
Yes.
Hi. I wanted to use analogy for quite some time, considering the timing of it all. It's no different than Trump wanting to be the leader in controlling AI. You have these two companies fighting to control a certain market. And I just would like to imagine how many politicians are going to buy certain stocks in the near future. But the movie is called Eagle Eye.
Yeah,
It's with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, I remember that.
Huh?
Eagle Eye. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Okay. If you guys watch the movie Eagle Eye, you're gonna see AI and these cameras all in one movie. And it'll kind of give a visual. I'm kind of a visual person sometimes. So for the people who understand what we're talking about, just watch the movie Eagle Eye. It's going to show you AI cameras, how the machine controls certain things. It's also an interesting movie, and then you can get a better understanding of what's going on. Because
or go back in time to 1981 and watch a movie called Looker, which was about how AI was going to have television commercials. Now you have them. Listen, here's the thing, okay? These two villains, the flock cameras and the data centers. I know all the beefs with the data centers. I know about the water and the electric use, and there's no doubt there has to be some regulation with that. That'll be worked out. But the data centers, the internet is a public utility, right? You may not realize it, but it's a public utility. And the data centers are to the internet what your local power station is to the electrical grid. That's it. You got to have them.
And what they have in common is a computer AI controls it all. It all runs through that system.
Like I'll tell you,
the lady who went
my house, I'll give you an example. My house was built in the 70s, late 70s, okay? And we had to get a new electrical put in the house a couple years ago because in 1979, when my house was new, what did you have? You had a TV, maybe two, usually one. You had your hi-fi stereo system that was in a cabinet, and a blender. Now, I mean, you don't have, the house wasn't built for as much electricity as you need now, right? So we had to get the whole. That's what the data centers are. It's just an upgrade to the internet utility.
A backup. And I just walked out of a store this morning, and the lady had a big screen TV, and I could see myself if I walked way down the road. I could see myself because the cameras are so clear. It's no different than you're just a human on the road, and if you're outside, anything is open. You're outside. It's public space. You cannot say like, "Don't film me, don't film me." Exactly. People are protecting their properties, and so they're protecting their property and so forth. And it also solves crime or like accidents happen. You can see who was in the wrongs, et cetera, et cetera. The lady who went to Canada, she has a lot of secrets. She knows a lot about our government and our system. Kash Patel should be waiting at the airport for her next entrance back into America.
Well, what I would like, for those that are just tuning in, what IB's talking about here is I had a story earlier in the show, and this is a pretty big story. Okay. By the way, IB, thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. There's an American girl who is Carney's chief of staff at the Prime Minister's office, a new position he created for her. She worked on Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, Joe Biden's presidential campaign, and she worked for Bloomberg. And the Democrats obviously are working with the Canadians on this trade war to try to knock Trump out of power, okay? So the Democrats are committing major treason, coordinating with the Canadians, causing an international conflict. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Charles in Philly.
Philly? Okay, go ahead, Philly.
Oh, wait, got somebody else.
Speak up.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Here we go. This could be good.
I want to know how come Trump is putting his name on everything, and he's still in office.
On everything, as an example.
Well, the aircraft carrier.
What aircraft carrier? What aircraft carrier?
Well, they were thinking of doing that, and they're also thinking of doing.
There's an aircraft carrier that has Trump's name on it. I missed that.
No. Didn't you hear the news?
Turn down the volume. Stop trying to listen to yourself in the background. Okay, there's a delay. It won't work. You can listen. You can replay it later and hear how dumb you sound.
Okay. The JFK Center.
Okay. No. Hold on. There's an aircraft carrier, the USS Donald Trump. Where is this aircraft carrier?
It was on the news. They were thinking of doing it on the news.
Somebody said something. Is there an aircraft carrier that the Navy has named the USS Donald John Trump?
No, there's not.
There's not.
But
Okay.
it was on the...
So what has his name on it then that's inappropriate?
You are so up Trump's ass.
Okay, there we go. Boom. He hung up on me, by the way. Dump button. If you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to re-engage. Oh, my goodness. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. Where's the brotherly love? 3 dumps today with our liberal callers, Mike. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. I tell you. You know what? Let's take our last break of the day on time, okay? Since I've taken the last few breaks late, let's take this break on time. You know what's crazy is he thought there really was an aircraft carrier named the USS Donald John Trump. I don't have a problem if they did it, but it's something they've made up, okay? It's something they've made up. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break and come back with the Gold Report. Oh, my goodness. You gotta love these liberals, don't you? You gotta love the liberals. Okay. Okay. All right, it is time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with today's gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals are lower yesterday and today, starting off at least, giving us a little bit of a buying opportunity. Yesterday we saw gold close down $65 at $4,592.90. Silver was down 54 cents at $68. Platinum lost $26 at $1,825 the ounce. And palladium was down $4 at $1,310. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,569 to $4,644. And right now we're at $45.8530. That's down $7.60. Silver down 6 cents at $67.93 the ounce. Platinum down $10 at $1,815. And palladium down $12 at $12.98. So gold holding around just under $4,600, giving us a little bit of a pullback and a buying opportunity.
Absolutely. The metals are on sale. That's a good day. You know, William Youngman, can you tell people how it works if they can't make it into your shop? Maybe they're in another part of town, they can't make it to Boca, or in another state or in another country, how they can do their transactions over the phone and through the mail with you. How does that work?
Yeah, for nearly 60 years now, we've been shipping precious metals and rare coins all over the world. And you just call up our office, lock in a price, and wire the funds, and the precious metals are shipped anywhere you desire within 24 hours.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And everything's insured, and it's done every day with William Youngerman. Give him a call. He opens up at 10 a.m. The number is 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And if you can, stop in. You know, at William Youngerman's, all the metals are available for immediate delivery. He's in Boca, over near Meisner at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. You can find his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
Right,
Thank
you take care. You take care. You know, that last guy with the Abraham Lincoln, you know, it's so bizarre to me. These liberals, they live in this fantasy world, right? They live in this fantasy world. And that is not the first caller I've gotten in the last few days that believes there's an aircraft carrier named the USS Donald John Trump somewhere in the ocean. Now, again, I would not have a problem if they did that. I think he's deserving of an aircraft. He's a great man. I'm very excited that we have the airport named after President Trump, Donald John Trump International Airport in Palm Beach. I love it. Yeah, I know, DJT. And, of course, Southern Boulevard has been renamed. For the road from the airport to Mar-a-Lago, Southern Boulevard. It's been Southern Boulevard as long as I can remember. It's now Donald John Trump Boulevard. It's very exciting, you know, it's very exciting. And there's nothing wrong with naming things after him. What would you name after Biden? You know, President Trump's getting things named after him because people love, respect him, and want him honored. What would you name after Joe Biden? I guess a chain of rehab clinics, since his kids are junkies and spend so much time. I don't know. What would you want to name after Joe Biden? But, you know, these people, you heard that caller, you know, the parts that I couldn't dump. The Trump derangement syndrome, there's a major outbreak of it, and you hear it with the callers. And the reason there's a major outbreak is because they know they're going to get creamed in the midterms and everything's going well. You know, I want to end today where I began, because this is a very important point, and President Trump never gets proper credit for the great things that he does, you know, so we have to do it. President Trump declared yesterday mission accomplished in Iran, which they have no, it is. There's mission accomplished in Iran, and he put together a hilarious meme about it. But more than the mission has been accomplished, President Trump, without anyone even knowing it, has brought about regime change in Iran. We have had regime change in Iran without any boots on the ground. The Ayatollah is dead. His son is either dead or injured so bad he can't recover. It's been 6 months. There's no clear leader in Iran, and there's a fight for power between the civilian government and the lunatics in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They were a theocracy 6 months ago. They are no longer. President Trump has given us regime change in Iran, and he certainly deserves recognition for that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jupiter, real quickly. There is a road up in Scranton that's full of potholes that overlooks the dirty, filthy city of Scranton, and it's named the Joe Biden Expressway.
That would make sense. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Is that during in the red light district? Probably is. You put it right through the red light district, and everybody will know. This is just like Joe Biden. You know, the Florida Turnpike is named the Ronald Reagan Turnpike. A lot of people don't know that. The Ronald Reagan Turnpike is the Florida Turnpike. And when the Republicans first took over Florida for the first time, when Jeb Bush first became governor in 1998, and the Republicans took over the Florida legislature, one of the first things they did was rename the turnpike the Ronald Reagan Turnpike. You know, so what? You know, because we respect him. I-95, right? I-95. How many times? It's the Eisenhower Expressway, and you'll see his name from time to time with a sign that has the 5 stars, you know, from being a 5-star general on it. Nobody seems to take issue. It's just Trump triggers them. And what is it about Trump that triggers them? You know why? It's because the left, you know, I'm not talking about the people in government, okay, about how they've been pushed out of it. I'm talking about people like that guy from Philadelphia, okay? See, before Trump came down the escalator, they really had no opposition. And now the Republican Party is back. Not only is the Republican Party back, it's not going anywhere. And we're in charge now. It's America first. We're getting things done, okay? And that's it. And it drives them nuts. And the Democrats know there's no path to return the power, especially when the Save America Act is signed into law after the midterms by the president. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You got that little man sitting.
Okay, there we go. Got him right before he got to the punchline, so we didn't have to end the last one with a dump. Oh, my goodness. You could tell he was creepy voice, talking fast. He thought he'd get it through. But he didn't. Oh, my goodness. See what I mean? They're triggered, man. They're triggered. That's right. You know, I was talking earlier about life imaging and about how there's people in this audience that have found out they have heart conditions, heart problems, cancers. You know, we had one listener I talked to that found out that they had blockage in every artery, and they went and had the whole thing, the whole quadruple bypass. They had no idea that they had any heart problems whatsoever, and they had blockage in all of their arteries and had quadruple bypass. We had one guy, he went over there, he had found out he had the cancer screening. He went over there for the at Life Imaging. He went over for the heart scan, asked about the cancer screening, got the cancer screening, found out he had a tumor, and it was a big tumor. It was like the size of a baseball. He called me, he told me about it. He had no idea. I can't remember if it was a baseball or a softball or a grapefruit, but it was one of those three, and it was big. And he had no idea he had a tumor. He doesn't anymore. He got it taken care of. The listener that had blockage in all their arteries, they had the quadruple bypass. Now they got all new plumbing there. Neither of these people had a single symptom. Life imaging is all about preventative health care. There's no excuse not to go and get your heart scan. First of all, it's convenient. Life Imaging have locations in Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County, and Orlando. It only takes about 10 minutes, okay? You don't have to get undressed and put on a medical gown. You leave your clothes on and everything, and it takes about 10 minutes. That's it, and then you know. That's right. Call now for your free heart scan with just a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. When you're over there, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening and virtual colonography. All right? Well, what a day, what a day. You know, tomorrow is Friday, and that means open phones on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Monday through Thursday, you got to call in about what we're talking about. On Friday's show, you can call in about whatever is on your mind, okay? So the show prep is up to you guys on Friday's show. And so get your show prep together. And when we have our open phones on Friday, Open MAGA Mike Friday, sometimes that's the best show of the week. And then other times you understand why we only do it one day a week, open phones, and not every day of the week. But there's a lot going on in the news. And like I said, you can call in about anything and everything you want on tomorrow's show. Now, we just got, this is great, Mark Wayne Mullen. I love Mark Wayne Mullen as the Secretary of Homeland Security. First of all, he is a real Native American Indian, not like Elizabeth Warren. He's the real deal. So who better to protect the homeland than a Native American Indian? But anyway, he's just announced that the Department of Homeland Security will be requiring mandatory random audits of paper ballots during the midterm elections. Being reported by Just the News. Random. Oh boy, yes, 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 we're on it. That's it. Then come January, we get the Save America Act. This is the other thing that's causing the outbreak of the Trump derangement in the audience, right? They just can't handle all of these things. Now I want to play, do I have time? Do I have time? Do I have time? I don't think I've got time. Yes, I do. I've got time. Now the audio is not too great on this. This is Abdul, the Muslim guy running for Senate. in Michigan. He says something about Obama. The audio is not too clear, but it's clear enough. Listen. Wow. When Hussein Obama got elected, Abdul said it was the first time I could see myself in a politician. What did he see in Obama that he connected to? What do you think Abdul connected to? That's right. That's what, yeah, the Hussein part, the Muslim part. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yep. You know what happens with these liberals? They talk long enough and they do themselves in and expose themselves. All right, guys, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back tomorrow on Open Phone, Open MAGA Mic Friday. Till then, God bless America. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. All right. Okay, now, guys, if you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. Now, I announced this about an hour ago. You'll hear me talk about it more tomorrow and over the weekend. Starting Monday, for members on the channel, I'm going to start a Members Monday live stream. After I get off the air on Mondays, I'm going to have a live stream just for members, okay? So if you want to become a member, click the join button on YouTube, and that'll be a live stream available only to members. So become a member and you'll have access to that, okay? My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you this afternoon. Take care.